That's it. We're going to fucking zero. We're gonna zero. This is bloody awesome, isn't it? Right, just when you start to get really excited and it's going sky high, we're gonna get slaughtered. Oh yeah. Um, I've been out of action for about 6 weeks. Just got hammered with a flu, but I am back, and no better time when things are smelling bearish. Why? We like to buy when it's bearish. I love it when there's blood in the streets. You can just smell the opportunity. Now, we had a bit of a pullback from around 52, 53 down to 43ish, depending on what exchange. That is a nice pullback. It's a beautiful thing, really. Like, have you seen the leverage that got slaughtered? Oh, beautiful. What we want to do is keep leverage in check. We don't want it to get too euphoric. If we want anything that's going to be a stable climb, we've got to hammer that shit down as soon as it gets a little bit excited. And that's usually when we're all getting a little bit excited, but you just got some degens out there who just go long on big leverage. And if you look at some of the exchanges that got absolutely hammered and liquidated, like your typical highly leveraged exchanges like Bybit and stuff, which have some pretty exuberant leverage levels. I'm going to do a separate video on trading and leverage and why I don't do it anymore. How easily you can get freaking wrecked. So let's get back to where we are, where we're going. We got to be cognizant, not complacent at all, that this is how the 2017 bull run kind of ended. We failed to meet all-time high around that 61 fib. We failed and we went down. And we know what happened for the next couple of years after that. Could this be the same scenario? Well, I don't know. If you look at the fundamentals in the market, it is bullish as fuck. It is bullish. We've got a country that's adopting it as legal tender. Yeah, I'd rather a different country. And it's a bit of a strange one because they already use the US dollar, so inflation is not really a problem there. So it's an interesting one. Is it just are they just doing a degenerate gamble and Michael Sayloring it in? Possibly. Or they see something that could pave the way for the country to maybe adopt a more technological stance. And if they open up like that, could bring capital in. There's a lot of different reasons for that move. And it could be something as simple as just wanting to make some money. But let's have a think about if this is a bear market or the mark in the top. Oh, we've already seen that all-time high, failed to meet it. We turned around again at that 61 fib retracement. I think what we have to watch out for is around 41. If we break below 41, 42, that's feeling pretty rough, I think. I think there's a high chance of that, like that this breaks down. Even though everything fundamentally is bullish, sometimes fundamentals and technicals just frickin' separate and you've got people just basically selling at discounts, and that will just bring price down. Even if you've got a whole lot of supply that's off the market, it really just depends on that balance of buyers and sellers, and that really determines the spot price. So it can go it can move a massive amount. And in some ways, having a low supply, you can see a huge amount of volatility that can arise out of that. Generally, that's for the upside, but as soon as you start to accomplish some nice high prices and you see these technical levels that psychologically really have a massive impact, man, they could be perfect opportunities to take some profits. And you can't really blame people for taking profits. What are you taking profits in? Well, you're going to take it into some other shitcoin like the Australian dollar or something like that, which is really just a commodity coin. And I don't know. What's your bets on the future of that? Yeah, it's probably going to get inflated away. We're in lockdowns, printing money, blah, blah, blah. I'm not holding very many Australian dollars, and I personally just don't see a bullish scenario for fiat currencies other than arbitraging and adding more Bitcoin and other cryptos at some point in time. But that's my personal choice. I love risk. I really do. It makes me feel alive. But I don't love risk so much that I'm willing to leverage, because that takes very, very big fucking balls. And mine are not that big. So, back to the charts. Let's have a flip to where we are currently at. You can see this huge wick down, wicking down. So we wick down to 43ish, depending on what price you're using. That was brutal. You can just imagine all the positions getting liquidated there. Will it break down lower? Generally, you're gonna have a test. You'll have that support. Like, I'm not a huge technicals man, but you're gonna have a test. It could just easily go up from here, right? Or it could break down again a little bit further and test level. We've got a clear support running through there at the 46 range there. It's bounced off there a few times. So there's a high chance that holds and we are sailing upwards. I have a higher price target personally of around 100k by the end of the year. Probably might go above that, might have fall short of that, may never even get to the all-time high. Who knows? But that's my target, and I will probably look at taking some profits, probably not Bitcoin profits, but in other shit coins. But let's see how it plays out. I think this is a opportunity to buy at a discount, and that's my personal view. I'm going to load up whatever fiat I've got lying around and buy some, but keeping some in reserve in case we dip lower, because if it goes back down and tests that 43, 42, you've got this support, sort of diagonal support running up around there, and that's sort of lining up to around 41.5 there, which like it's a price action that's had a bit of touches on it. I don't fully think that it will go down to that, honestly. I don't know if we're going to go any further down than maybe 45, a test of 45, somewhere around there. But obviously stage your entry points accordingly. I buy, I don't freaking sell. No, seriously, there's not much advantage of selling unless you're going to pick a top and you want to buy back on the short term cheaper. But like, honestly, long term, why the hell would you be holding dollars? Australian, US, anything. Long term, not worth it. Short term, we're going to get a crash. There's no doubt about it. We'll get a crash at some point in time, whether that's a stock market crash led just by Like if you looked at the S&P, it is fucking gangbusters, and it's got to have a correction. Like there's going to be some profit taking. You have to realize that at some point in time the sellers will outweigh the buyers, and that might be only temporarily. Who knows? But that could affect. Well, it will affect the crypto market, and we just have to be cognizant of that and take the opportunity. Anyway, I think for myself personally, good time to buy right now. Don't be an idiot. If you can't afford to lose money, don't invest it. But this is a opportunity. If you were smart, you would have had already buy orders in place. I haven't even gone to the exchange to see if some of the ones I had lower, I think I had expiries on them, to be honest. But I hope that they didn't. They weren't big, but I'm always looking at adding. And that's an opportunity. Right now is an opportunity. You've had a lot of blood. You want to really be buying into that fear. I'm guessing the fear and greed index is going to come in tomorrow pretty substantially. Screaming fear. But that's expected because a lot of people are speculating. And a lot of people are still speculating on absolute shit coins as well. Like you've got some stuff that's doing well that just shouldn't be. But who knows? I'm not the arbiter of those, and we could see them moon higher. If I had to pick a value play right now, something that is, as far as a market cap and fundamentally, is actually quite bullish. I'm really bullish on DOT. Polkadot hasn't reached its all-time high. If you compare it to Cardano and Solana, it really hasn't had that massive run, and there's a lot of stuff coming onto that network. I don't keep full track of it, but I know the parachain auctions are about to move from Kusama, and they'll do some auctions on Polkadot, pretty much mirror what happened on Kusama. And so fundamentally there's stuff happening there. It is a well-made project. I don't have a huge amount of it, but if I had to pick between Cardano and DOT, I'd say they have equal opportunity, but DOT's probably, as far as less theory and more action, it's more in line with the ethos of Ethereum, where it's just get it done, make it happen, we'll figure it out. And rather than, we're going to make it all perfect and have a load of academics look at stuff. That's great and all, but anyone who's coded anything up realizes that no matter how much you think of it early on, how many academics look at it, when you run it in the real world, you're going to get real world problems and you have to fix those. No matter how much planning, the sooner, in fact, you get into the real world, the sooner you sort those problems out. Yes, it becomes harder because you've already got users on the network, but it makes complete sense as far as an implementation of something like that is once it's semi-functional, get it on there. Yeah, you're going to get some exploits and stuff, but as long as you're got some fail-safes in there and people are cognizant of the risk and willing to help build the project in a beta-like environment. And that's the thing, most of these things, Ethereum's the most developed one, and it's still going to have issues. It's the way it is. Like, if you don't want to take on that risk, because it is risk, don't invest in it. But also don't complain when you've missed out on 5-10x gains over a year. It's a risk you have to be willing to take, grow some balls, or don't participate, but don't freaking complain. Right. Have a good day. See you later.